At the just concluded African Women in Europe Summit in Brussels, Belgium, we meet Dr. Sibert Mandega, the Executive Director of a UK-based risk management firm known as Diaspora Insurance, and the company's Chief Executive Officer, Jeff Madzingo. They are busy attending to participants who are eager to learn about the company's policies. Dr. Mandega gets an opportunity to make a presentation to the audience about the company's products, services, and impact on livelihoods.
The application process, simple, straightforward. All we need to know is your country of origin, and if you're in the diaspora, you qualify straight away. And we've been doing this product for the last 12 years, and to date, we've paid more than $4 million. So we've transformed people's realities, because most of our clients who have benefited actually don't see us as a business, they see us as family.
Great weather today, Sibert.
Yeah, it's bright, brilliant, sunny.
At some moment, I joined Jeff and Sibert for a walk outside the meeting place, which is so close to the headquarters of the European Union.
Is it your first time at the EU headquarters too?
This is my first time.
As we stroll, we share a lot about life in the diaspora, given all of us are diasporians, so to speak.
You have to adapt to new systems, right? New way of thinking.
It's never the same like home. Huh?
It's never the same.
Both Jeff and Sibert come from Zimbabwe and they live in the UK. Sibert is a medical doctor, while Jeff's background is international banking finance. We reminisce on the challenges immigrants face.
We've seen so many, like you're on many WhatsApp groups, messages.
Yes.
People send in these WhatsApp messages to say, please help me to raise up funds to maybe they want to send their beloved one back home for final resting place.
From our talk, it is apparent that funerals are draining the pockets of families living abroad and their relatives back home. Many are resorting to fundraising, which consumes resources that could be used for investment.
Losing someone who is close to you, a loved person, is very traumatic. To be caught up in a situation you are facing bereavement and you are reduced to a beggar, begging for help, it becomes a double trauma. So
you lose the dignity.
You lose the dignity. So the family ends up in a situation of begging. The family ends up in a situation of unplanned family death if they have to borrow money to do the send-off. And when you lose someone, there are also a lot of costs that are beyond just the fact of the death itself, because you end up with the situations like family travel, food, flowers, church service.
So Diaspora Insurance sought to provide a solution for this.
At the moment, we are providing the cover to a number of African countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia. We've got Ghana, Southern Africa. We've got quite a number of countries: Zimbabwe, South Africa, Eswatini, Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, Malawi. So we've got quite a number of countries, including Mozambique, who qualify for the cover.
As Diaspora Insurance, there are a lot of stakeholders in the company. We got insurance companies that work with us, reinsurers that work with us, as well as stakeholders. So the company has grown massively over the past 10 or 11 years since its formation. And to date, we cover more than 13 African nationalities. So it's actually a global company. We can call it a Pan-African company because we cover all these 13 African nationalities.
And how exactly does Diaspora Insurance support handling of emergencies?
The main product, which is a household product, is called the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. So we find these situations where, God forbid, someone suffers death in the diaspora. Communities have been suffering and getting stranded when someone wants, say, to be repatriated back home and there's no money. So the intervention of the policy is to provide financial assistance within 24 hours of us receiving proof of death. We provide the funds.
The insurance scheme allows those in the diaspora to insure their relatives back home.
They will cover, the way it's structured, you can cover as a single, that's one person, one single plan. You can cover as family plan where you add yourself, your nucleus family, self, spouse, children. You can have cover extended family, that's a family plan. We also have the group policies where people can come in as a group. It's an association, they can come in as a group. We can cover that. In terms of how much each person can cover, the maximum we allow is 20,000. If you are in the EU, your currency of cover will be the euro. If you are in USA, your currency of cover is US dollars. If you are in the UK, you are covering in pounds, Australian dollars. So we allow maximum of 20,000 for people in the diaspora outside Africa. But if you want to cover family back home in Africa, the maximum cover we allow per individual life is 5,000.
The premium depends on many factors like the amount of cover and age.
So let me give you a real life example. Myself, I live in the UK. I've got a wife, I've got 3 kids. We are all covered on the diaspora insurance for 20,000 each, which means that a family, we are covered for 400,000. God forbid anything happens to any one of us, the family gets on provision of the proof of death, they get the 20,000 so that they can give their loved ones a dignified send-off.
So for 20,000, what would be the monthly premium?
It's very difficult to pick an example. What we do is we advise all people who are interested, go on the website diasporainsurance.com. You can register there, you can do the quotation there. And if you don't complete the quotation, our sales team will get in touch, walk you through the whole process. Why I'm saying it's difficult to give an example, it's because it's very misleading. I will give you an example of a family of 5. It may be a family of 5, self, spouse, or under 40, 3 children, or under 15. That's a family of 5. Another family of 5 could be self, spouse, or over 50, parents over 70. So you find that the dynamic of age is a very big factor.
Great.
Diaspora Insurance is working closely with a Kenyan diaspora representation lobby group known as County 48, whose leader is Bernard Kaviu, to raise awareness about life insurance.
With the insurance, even if you lose your job, we got your back. We'll take you home if you're stranded. If you happen to die there, we are saying we will be able to repatriate your body. We'll pay money directly to your family to bring you home.
It is a very sad experience that Kenyans go through. We have to do mchango. So we are having mchango after another.
Hata kwa tunatengeneza WhatsApp group ili to make sure Wakenya wamerudishwa hapa Kenya kutoka from Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran. You understand?
Kenyans face issues that require them to be repatriated, and they have no one to turn to. Sometimes it's very abrupt.
We formed a strategic alliance with Diaspora County 48, and we've structured a very bespoke product for Diaspora County 48 and for the Kenyans.
Leaders of Diaspora County 48 and Diaspora Insurance made a visit to Kenya recently, and part of their mission was to meet various government officials for the purpose of raising awareness on their contribution to the welfare of Kenyans living abroad.
We are very happy because we had a very successful meeting with our PS, the State Department of Diaspora Affairs, Ms. Roslyn Jogu.
We are making sure that as much as a Kenyan is asking for their passports to travel or their visas, they also ask for this cover so that in distress within 24 hours we're able to reach them and we're able to give them the help that they require.
I'm really happy to meet you all. Often I have to travel to come and meet the diaspora. So we very rarely have delegations coming home. But when you're home, we're very excited to have you here. It's really a pleasure to see you all and to see you all coming from about 8 different regions and to be here to talk about important things such as support for repatriation and evacuation, but also to hear all of the work that you're doing to talk about representation and that kind of thing. The diaspora to be thinking about their own insurance product basically to deal with repatriation and evacuations is great. As you might know, it is quite expensive to repatriate the body of a Kenyan who has died away, again depending on where you have died. Some places of course are much more expensive than others, and it usually comes at a time when it's very, very traumatic for the family to think about. I think just because of our culture, a lot of people have a hard time thinking about people not being buried at home. So this is a really important service. You know, one of the things that the State Department for Diaspora Affairs is mandated to do is actually to champion the rights and welfare of the diaspora. And so part of the work we've been doing is actually these kinds of evacuations and these kinds of repatriations. So this will go quite some way in releasing that pressure on government.
Great strides there regarding the welfare of Kenyans living abroad. Time now for our Diaspora Bite segment.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started.
My takeaway home is just about adding value to yourself. Knowing how valuable you are as a person, but also remember, you cannot add value to something empty. So you ought to know that you already have some value within yourself and then add more to it. And then you give it to the society.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started. Download and use the code CHAMSMedia and instantly get a cash bonus on your first transfer.